Hello again everybody, welcome back. Today I wanted to do my breastfeeding must-haves video for you as promised. I'm going to just jump right in because I've tried to shoot this video a couple of times now and I seem to ramble like crazy. So let's just start and try and keep it simple. First, I didn't really think I was going to need it, but I'm glad I had it. It's a nursing pillow. I went with a Jolly Jumper boomerang style. Looks absolutely huge. And I'm glad I had it. You go through periods where you use it and times when you don't use it at all, and overall, really glad I had it. I did have a friend who got so used to only using her nursing pillow, she couldn't, and her baby couldn't nurse without it. So do still try to not use it all the time, whether it's a couple of times a day that you just don't use it, or whether it's periods of time where you just say, okay, I gotta give my pillow a break. Because she got to the point where she could only nurse with her pillow. She could not go out in public and just nurse her baby because she didn't know how to hold them. They were just too fumbly. I don't know. But it is still handy to have, and when your core is really weak and you've got to worry about how to hold this baby. I went for a while, really stiff neck, trying to organize, and finally just said, I need a pillow, and it works. And I didn't use it for a long time, probably the last few months, but I've recently just started using it again because the same thing, we kind of get in awkward positions in the middle of the night where I was just kind of lazy and tired and not holding him quite right. So we've started using it again, and I'm really glad we have it. Another thing that you need, even as a breastfeeding mother, is a pump. Really all that you really need is to learn how to do good hand expression, but until you kind of get that knack down, I really liked having a pump. I have never had to pump to feed Emmett. We have tried a bottle a couple of times and he just really didn't take to it. I'll put in a quick picture of Brad and Emmett. That was their one successful attempt, but really you still kind of needed a pump. My main problem was I had mastitis a couple of times and hadn't quite gotten the knack for hand expression yet, and this gave me a chance to fully drain my breasts when my baby just didn't want to nurse that much. So some people will need it for engorgement at the beginning. Your baby's just not strong enough yet to get past that initial like crazy strong amount. So like I said, you can learn how to hand express early on or get a pump and have it on hand. With my mastitis, you need a thermometer. I was so sick and I just couldn't realize why I couldn't take care of my baby, why I couldn't get out of bed, what was wrong with me. I was just felt so ill. I didn't really get huge red marks on my breasts. They would get little smaller areas that were a little red or pink. You could feel like a little hard lump in there, but until I broke out a thermometer, I didn't really realize what I had. And then I'm like, my temperature's 104 or whatever. You got a huge temperature spike, and then you realize, okay, there is a reason why I'm feeling like this. It's not just lack of sleep or whatever. So if there's times where you really feel like you just can't do it, take your temperature, and there may be an underlying problem that's not just lack of sleep. So keep an eye on those boobies, they can get sick on you. The next part of that is a lot of women experience cracked nipples at the beginning when their baby has an improper latch and they haven't quite gotten the groove down yet. I was really prepped ahead of time. I did pick up a Lanolin, and I always have coconut on hand. So coconut oil was my go-to one at the beginning. I can't say that it prevented the cracks, or we just always had a really good latch. It lucked out, but coconut oil was my plan. It can be ingested by baby and it's not a problem. So it doesn't have the vigorous amounts of cleaning that I know lanolin involves. This is sticky, yucky, pasty stuff to put on your boobs. It is supposed to be safe for baby to ingest, but it just, there's a lot of toxins involved in lanolin, and not something that I would have been comfortable with Emmett ingesting. So I probably, if I needed to use it, would have had to wash it off. But it is considered safe. So those are your two options if you're having problems with cracked nipples. I would at least have some coconut oil on hand, whether you use it for baby's bum or massages or whatever. get yourself some coconut oil. It's fantastic. But cracked nipples, it's got antifungal, antibacterial properties. It will help not only keep them whole, but if you do end up with cracks, it should help them heal up as well. One thing baby needs for breastfeeding is vitamin D. So vitamin D, these are just the D drops. There we go. Made by Baby D Drops, and they're in a coconut oil base, so coconut oil is safe for baby to ingest. You want 1 drop once a day. You can put it on your breast, a soother, a finger. Just make sure they suckle at it for 30 seconds. Vitamin D and iron are the 2 vitamin minerals that are not transferred via the breast milk. So vitamin D they need right off the bat, right up to a year-old when they start on regular milk. If you do nurse longer, you do need to stay on vitamin D drops as well. And then, like I said, iron, as soon as they start solid foods, you want those iron-rich foods. But while they are nursing, they are honestly just living on the supply of iron that they received when they were in the womb. So you do need to start solids fairly promptly when they are hitting that 6 months of age, or their iron levels could be too low. So vitamin D and iron your baby still need. Everything else is in your magic boobies. Okay, for me, clothes were actually one that I didn't really realize I was going to need. I knew I needed some nursing bras, but I didn't realize that I would want some actual nursing tops. When Emmett was born, I didn't realize how uncomfortable I would be pulling up my shirt to nurse my baby. I have quite a lot of stretch marks and loose skin, and I'm just not comfortable with it, and I thought I'd be way more confident with breastfeeding than that. But even at home, I didn't like the idea of pulling up my shirt. So I invested in some nursing tops. These are just a double panel that you pull one down, pull one up, and they work fantastic. Definitely my favorites. There's other ones where they have holes that have a second layer that are covering. But there's a lot of discreet ways of nursing your baby now, where you don't have to pull up your shirt or expose your chest or whatever. So for me, this was important. It gave me a bit more self-esteem at a time when my body image just kind of was in the poopers. But not everybody will need nursing tops. I have never bought any of mine new. They have all been used at used consignment stores. So you don't have to spend a fortune on them. But for me, I really am glad that I have some. And then there's nursing bras. These are my favorite. These are just Warner. I got them at Walmart. They are supposed to be nighttime pull-aside nursing access. And I wear them all the time. They're just like a sports bra. I am a double D, and I find that the extra large is just fine for me. If you are much larger than that, they might not be as supportive enough for during the day that you would get away with that. 3 seems to be my magic number. I have 2 white ones and a black one, and do just fine with that. I do have actually 2 of these because they were on sale, and they're the traditional ones with the clip access, and I didn't find them handy enough. Go figure. I liked the ease of these, the comfort of these nighttime ones as opposed to the traditional bra style. These are by Vogue, and the one thing I will say about nursing bras is don't go for anything with an underwire, especially not in the first, we'll say, 3 or 4 months. Your breast tissue is constantly changing at that point, and you'll end up with more problems. The wires dig in where the new cells are forming, and yeah, don't want to use any underwire ones, at least for those first few months. After that, your tissue's probably where it needs to be, and then you're good. But nursing bras. Next, we'll do nursing pads. You guys will remember that I made some nursing pads in a DIY video. I can link that down below for you. I did a layer of PUL, a couple layers of bamboo, and then a layer of minky, so it's nice and soft. And these are fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. They're not very thick. They don't show a whole lot. they all, no matter what, will show a bit, but they don't show a whole lot, and they absorb really well. And like I said, for the first couple of months, this was definitely all that I needed. I had a couple other kinds of cloth ones. These are just a cotton one from Walmart. A girlfriend gave me 2 pairs of those, and these were my choice for at nighttime. They didn't have any PUL, they breathed a lot better, at least I felt they did, so I used them through the night times and they were great. I got a couple of sets of Bamboobies from a different friend, and they talk. Everybody raves about these things. They shift around in your shirt, no matter which kind of bra I was wearing. Then you end up leaking out the edge. They are supposed to lie a little flatter so that they don't show at all. That doesn't work. They do show, and they just end up bunching up in spots because they're not curved at all. So Bamboobies were not my favorite. They were fairly absorbent. I didn't have a problem there until I had some oversupply issues. So around 2-3 months I ended up having crazy amounts of oversupply, and none of my cloth would work. I would leak out of them in a month, in an hour, and they just didn't do it. So I did have to switch to some disposable ones, because honestly I would still leak out of a disposable after 3 or 4 hours, or I would have to even change these. I did try multiple kinds, mostly because I just bought whatever was on sale at the time. I will say my favorites were the cheapest. These are President's Choice. They're all individually packaged, except for all the Walmart brand, I think, were all loose in a box. But the President's Choice ones, they're sold in Superstore in Canada. I'm sure you can get them in the States as well. They just were so much more absorbent. They're a little bit thicker. I'll open one up for you. They have this awesome, like, actual elastic in here to keep the shape. They have the stickers to stick to your clothes, and they're just, yeah, they're a lot more contoured. They fit really well, and they're just a lot more comfortable, and I like them the best. So you do need nursing pads of some kind. You get leaks, you'll get messy otherwise. But cloth really was definitely all I needed until I had oversupply issues. Now I'm back to not having oversupply issues, so I go back to my cloth. And lastly, again, it's your comfort level. A breastfeeding cover. I have a traditional breastfeeding cover. It's got the big loop, it's got towel corners, and it's big and cumbersome, and it only has one function. So I just recently went on Baby Steals, and they had these latch on by the Button Bomb, and this is a clip-on nursing cover, and you can use whatever blanket you have. So Baby has a favorite blanket. Emmett has a brown one that I use in the car all the time that is definitely his favorite, and my favorite is bamboo. But even if you just have a muslin swaddle blanket, I would say fold it so that it's 2 layers for the muslin swaddle blankets, because they're a little thinner. You can almost see right through them with the light behind you. But these have 2 little clips, and you can just clip any blanket, which you might already have in the car or in your diaper bag, because it's a multi-use functional item. And then you have a nice nursing cover. And I found this to be so much better. I mean, I can still peek in and look at him if I need to, but really he's a very distracted nurser. So those little peekaboo windows didn't help me at all. And yeah, take any blanket, and it's now a nursing cover. But like I said, this isn't necessarily a must-have item. But for me, I liked having a nursing cover for when certain company came over or when I was out and about. So perfect. Well, I think that is it for my breastfeeding must-haves video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I am actually quite passionate about breastfeeding. I don't know if everybody gets this way or if it's just my educational background, but yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more, and I will see you again next time, guys. Thanks for watching.